Good evening. Happy Friday. Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, TGIF. Thank God it's Freddy. Join me. Oh, yeah, it's Friday. Good evening, folks. Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. TGIF, September 30th, 2022. Happy Friday, Yonkers. What's going on? Don't forget to join me tonight at 8. I will have Anthony DiMaggio telling his story, part 6, former police lieutenant from the city of Yonkers. He'll be joining me. We're going to actually get into what happened, what transpired at the crime scene that, had him get into the issue with the other officer, the made guy, the Goomba, as he calls him. So you want to tune into that. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you for joining me. I want to start out with the Mike Cater interview. Did you guys see that? I did. I know he did an interview on the Yonkers Voice earlier that day. It was Wednesday, and then he came on to join me. We did it somewhere else, so the sound was not bad. It was just a little echoey. But did you guys watch it? What'd you think? Let me know. How do you feel about Mike Cater? What do you think? If he runs for mayor, would you give him your support? Because I'm hearing, from listen, I try to be in the middle, right? I try to be friendly with, I know people are like, yeah, right. You try to be friendly with people, Freddie? Yeah. No, I do. I, for the most part, try to, so I tap into both, sides of the aisle, I guess, and not Republican or Democrat, just, you know what I mean? You have the establishment, the administration, then you have, the other people, caterers and whoever else. And so, they're saying that, many people, he's not a big fan of the public. And I want to know, what do people really think of Mike Cater? Would you vote for him if he ran for mayor? He said he's not really thinking about that. I mean, he is, going to be forming an exploratory committee to see, what his chances are possibly. But right now he's really focused on the lawsuit that he just, filed, and that I spoke about here in Basement Politics, and also the investigation that's still ongoing. He's being still investigated by, Liam McLaughlin's office, the Inspector General, and also by the Westchester County District Attorney, Mimi Roca. And so a lot of people mention Mimi Roca. They bring up the Westchester County District Attorney, and they even tag her in some of my posts. And, they ask, where's the district attorney? And what is she going to do? Why is she not looking into a lot of this stuff? And I guess she is. She's investigating something here in the city of Yonkers, but she's also, investigating Mike Cater, and I mean, listen, fine, investigate the guy, I'm not saying don't. What I'm saying is that it's not just Mike Cater. I mean, if you're here investigating Mimi, why not just, go ahead and, look elsewhere as well, so. But the fact that she's not, and the fact that she's on board with that, just suggests to me that I don't know if you're going to get much progress from the Westchester County DA. So, just wishful thinking, guys who do tag her on there. But, he's still dealing with that investigation. So, people, I've heard this, I would vote for Mike. I definitely would support Mike, but I got to see his name cleared. And he showed me leases, but, it's not up to me. Right. And you don't have to believe me or whatever, but I saw what he showed me to be the leases that were paid, or the lease, I should say, and the payments that were made. And then ultimately he was out of that office, so he didn't have to pay them anymore. But it's really minuscule that what they're really trying to, get him on here is really like, if it happened, which, from what I saw, it didn't happen. But if it happened, it's really like nonsense stuff. I mean, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on independent investigators and attorneys to try and get this guy on a quid quo pro for a $70,000 contract. I mean, does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, he's out of politics. Save the taxpayer the money, right? So he's, I asked him about how his family, felt and how they were dealing with things, and he seemed to get a little emotional there when talking about his wife and what they had to deal with, as well as his kids. He has 2 kids, and well, actually, I think he has more. I'm not sure. I know he had the 2 boys. Maybe it's just 2 boys. I don't really know. I'm like not Decatur's best friend, But I know he has kids, and they went through a lot. His wife received text messages on her cell phone, right? On her cell phone. And then the neighbors receive stuff, right? So you're walking out the house and your neighbor's looking at you, if they believe it. Right. And so we have to not always believe things like that, and not, and take things with a grain of salt, right? Make sure we don't just start to judge people, right? But yeah, he got all that stuff. He lost, his family and their reputation. Some people really were buying into it and like, oh my God, what? It's a quid pro quo, what? I mean, it was really silly, like, and so he had to fall back and regroup. And so I'm sure that was hard. And what about his law practice, And so people say, Freddie, you his biggest supporter. And I don't know if I necessarily say I support Mike Cater, like but I support the right thing, right? I don't condone, stuff like that. I don't. I've been through it, So when I sat with Mike Cater before the interview, I talked to him about that. I said, I feel like we've gone through something similar, right? And my wife and I, brought us together. We can believe that happened. And it happened from family members also, just like Mike Cater, right? Zahi Jeris is his blood cousin, first cousin. And the same with me, my cousin, right? And it's unbelievable. Jealousy and stupid things that get in there, and then they just blow it to this big thing, and just goes to show, these how family can be. And so, we shared that, and we, and I said, maybe sometimes, even though it may not seem like it now, but this was something that, you're going to be like, I'm kind of glad I went through it, because I came out, on the other side of it much better, right? It actually, did a lot of good. Like in our situation, my wife and I, that's what I feel like, so I just say it's something God put me through, and we had to go through it. So, so I share that with the guy. So I understand that, and when people say he's a sore loser or he's bitter, I don't think that's just it, and I think that there's more to it than that. I mean, they attacked his career, political career, and his, law career, right? His family, his reputational, and that's a lot. And so, people can't be that insensitive. So that's why I kind of, relate to what he's gone through. Plus, I look at what happened there, and it's wrong. It's just wrong, right? They got rid of this guy because he wanted to save the taxpayer money. He wanted to assure that what that the community was heard of it in Ludlow Park, in regards to the Ludlow Park rezoning plan and that whole development that's going on there, and he just wanted to slow it down a bit, and they didn't like that, right? He also was pushing hard for that ordinance. So I mean, I think that's right. So if had it been Shanae, had it been Corazon, had it been Tasha, who was, the Mike Cater in that situation, I would be saying the same about them. And it wouldn't be about any, like, I just support that person, right? It just wouldn't be about that. So I just want to put it out there in the way I feel like it should be put out there. And also what I think is interesting is that I watched, did you guys see the city council meetings, the recent one? They brought up the Ludlow project, and they even had this woman come up. She is on the community advisor or whatever. Let me write the name. But she was a community liaison, right, to the community, to the developers and the elected officials, so they can make sure that they had community input. And it seems like this meeting and having her come there was like a setup, right? It was like, okay, Mike Cater is alleging that we didn't give the community any input, and that he wanted to do that. So let's make it seem like, we did, right? So they had this lady come up, so she's thanking them, I mean, kind of like thanking them. It was almost, it was thank you, but not all the way, right? Because she was saying, but this could be done, but have been done better. But, I appreciate this, so I feel like they wanted to make it look good, because Mike Cater had in his lawsuit that they were not listening to community, right? So, it's Ruth Montgomery was the lady's name. Ruth Montgomery was at the city council meeting recently. She, along with Lucy Casanova, whose name I've heard before, she's a community activist, community, a very active community member, Hispanic, especially in the Hispanic community. And they are community liaison for the Ludlow Community Plan Development, right? A process by which Williams, Pineda, and Diaz selected the two to be a part of that. And so she represents the neighborhood. I guess these two individuals, I guess they get together, they meet and stuff like that. But what I did like what she said, that she wanted to see more community meetings outside of the public hearings. She said that there needs to be more meetings, on these developments outside of just the public hearings that they have, and they need to include more people so we can hear from more people, right? Not just these couple individuals, and that's it. Says the community embraced the mixed use idea, right, of the developments, but they had to, because that's how they're getting a lot of these subsidies and stuff like that from the federal government. It's all about, Agenda 2030, which includes mixed use developments all over the country, right? But not completely happy, right? So she's not completely happy. They're not completely happy, right? Once GDC, and GDC is Ginsburg Development Corp, right? This is the developers that was mentioned in the Mike Cater lawsuit, who he pissed off, from what I gathered. And then they said, it's time for you to go. Let's use the Committee for Better Yonkers as a vehicle to finance the attacks, which they did. If you look at their expenditures, I mean, he's absolutely 100% correct. And when he says that's all they pay for, that's what it seems like, right? So she says not completely happy. So she wants GDC. She wants a commitment. That's what this woman, Ruth Montgomery, is asking. I want a commitment from GDC, Ginsburg Development, and the city that they will control the noise pollution, right? The noise coming from the construction and any negative impacts that the construction may bring. Well, how are you going to do that? That's going to be impossible, right? The noise is the noise, right? I mean, they can't do nothing about that, Ruth. You're going to see a lot of, Ruth, your area is going to be all crazy, okay? You don't really know what you're in for, Ruth, but it's going to be a crazy, and that area is really tight as it is. There's not a lot of ways in and out of that Ludlow area by that Fernbrook. Disappointed in administration of the Greenway, something about the pathway, the Greenway Trailway that's going to be going up along the Hudson River and up to Old Boyle Park. She was disappointed in the administration for some reason, and that she didn't really go into details about that. But she did thank them for listening and involving them. But she wants them to control the construction noise. Okay, all right, guys. So make sure you keep it quiet, right, when you're drilling in the ground, right, and you got the backhoes in there digging and stuff like that. Make sure you keep it quiet. And she did want to see that traffic was not, they didn't, that these developments did not create too much traffic in that area. Woman, they're going to create so much traffic, it's unbelievable. Why don't you take a drive through the downtown area by the waterfront, try to go up Ashburn, come back down Yonkers Avenue, and that's how it's going to be for you as well, right? If not worse. Look at the streets and all that. So I'm not sure. Ruth, would you like to come on the show, Basement Politics? Email me at politicwithfred@gmail.com. I'd love to talk to you about this. But Ruth, you're in for a big rude awakening. I'm sorry, but it's going to be bigger than you think. And I just want to say this. This is very important. There's a resolution to nominate someone for Yonkers Historian, and the person that they are seeking to nominate is Mary Hoare. All right. Congratulations to you, Ms. Hoare. Public proposed amendment to the city of Yonkers capital budget. There was they added another $43 million in spending for capital projects. I'm not sure what that is. That was approved. Then Mike Breen also was speaking up at the real estate meeting chaired by John Rubo. They're pushing for zoning changes over there by 21 Scarsdale Road. Do you guys know that area? The old Hudson Valley Bank. It's going to be, they want to make it 150 unit development there, luxury development. So Mike Breen is pushing for the zoning to be changed. Currently, it's in zone as industrial, but he wants to change that, which I mentioned that already on Basement Politics, that they're not talking about it. They're going to push it through. They have to change some zoning stuff, which the city's going to do 1,000%. Former bank building. It's 150 units with 156 parking spaces, right? And again, it needs to go to the council for zoning changes, which I'm sure they'll have no issue getting changed. And here's what Mike Breen said. Hudson Valley Bank was zoned in an industrial area. The zoning is industrial, and he wants it to change because the industrial age is over. That's what he said. And if you know anything about what that means, you will laugh too, because it's not about the industrial age there, Mike Breen, but we should change it, the zoning from, it's industrial now, but change it to residential because we're out of the industrial age. Okay. That's what he said. It was adopted 7-0. They're going to take the lead seeker on that. And then it's going to go to the council for zoning change. Right. So yeah. John Rubo thanked his colleagues for the advocacy. Oh, I want to bring back to the Ludlow Project. I thought this was interesting because they're wanting to make it seem again like they did a lot of this community. They had a lot of community input, which I don't think they did. And I don't really think they did, but they want to make it seem like that. And I think they're doing that because of what Mike Cater said in the lawsuit, right? So Shanae Williams says about the Ludlow thing, a project that developers were willing to come together with the community on. That's what that was, right? Corazon Pineda said, the Ludlow Project should serve as a model and will continue to do what they need to make the community more involved. John Rubo thanked his colleagues, specifically he's talking about Pineda and Diaz, and even Shanae, for their advocacy for the community. It will be a great project. And talking about the Ludlow. You see what they're doing here? Like, this is, like, it's almost becoming, like, obvious now, guys. Is really becoming, I mean, I can see it, and maybe because I'm really following closely, but I can see it. What happens the day after, this is how they're responding to the Mike Cater lawsuit. That's what they're going to do, right? They're going to make it really seem, they're really like, yeah, you know, so it's a model project on how we included the residents in the community in this project and their ideas, right? We're going to kick them out afterwards, after they give us the ideas. We're going to kick them out. Right. So if you didn't watch the interview, go check it out. You know, I try to make it Oprah Winfrey-ish, right? You know, Barbara Walter-ish. You know, I try to get them emotional. You know, that's my goal. You know. So anyway, yeah. So go check that out if you didn't watch it. That's that on that. So yeah, you know, that's that on those meetings. Uno, by the way, is Uno LLC is the developer for that 21 Scarsdale, the ones that are proposing the 150 unit residential at the site of the former Hudson Valley Bank there. Again, Breens said it's zone industrial, but the industrial age is over. It's going to be a good project and wants to see it move forward quickly. I'm sure. Why, Breen? Why? No one asked anything about it. No one asked any questions. What, you know, nothing. Not at all. Just adopted. 7-0. Happy Friday, Larry. Thank you. That's actually what I have planned for next week. Oh, okay. Well, I'm wrong. Tonight we discuss internal affairs and why I called them the black shirts. IA and why they're called Anthony DiMaggio anyway calls them the black shirts as Anthony DiMaggio. He will be on with me at 8 o'clock tonight for part 6. And then part 7 will be about the crime scene and what happened. Miss Hoare, that's her name. I'm just saying that was her name. I'm just saying that was her name. Folks, the FBI raided the Nepperhan Community Center. Somebody said only the black people get raided by the FBI when they were saying, why haven't the FBI come down in Yonkers? I just thought that was funny because they have. And they raided the black guy. Jim Bostic was already on his way out. He was supposed to be going out this December, but apparently the FBI said, no, we're going to get you out sooner. From what I am getting from sources, FBI came in there. He was given 30 minutes to get his personal belongings up out of there. They locked all the doors. They're looking for something. Money mismanagement, misappropriation of funds. Employees were not getting their W-2s when they were asking for them. He was writing employee checks that were bouncing. One woman, he owed $7,000 in her salary or whatever in pay. She wrote her a check. It bounced like the basketballs at the night game at the community center. And so now they're investigating, seeing what's going on. And I hear that the guy was receiving $500,000 from the city of Yonkers. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is, but I heard he was one of the recipients of a $500,000 grant every year from the city of Yonkers. Where's that money going? And this is why it's an issue, folks. This is why I talk about this. You want your taxpayer money and money that's supposed to go to the community being funneled into the bank accounts of these individuals, and then we praise them? This is what I don't understand. We got to stop praising them. I mean, these individuals put out a front. That's what they're doing. They're snake oil salesmen, right? As they used to say. So where's the money going? And I have had this told to me years ago. I mean, years ago before I was working in a school at the time, right? I was working in a school, alternative high school, and an individual that I worked with who knew Bostic well knew the area and the community center told me that the guy be pocketing money. That's what I was told. Not saying it's true. I don't know. That's what I was told. I also, reached out to, and the reason why he came up in that conversation at that time was because I had lost someone, in the streets. I was living in the Southwest side. Someone was killed, and it just really, again, it's been something that has been affecting me since back then. That I've been wanting to do something about. This is nothing new. So I drew up a proposal for a music program, as I was doing a lot of music stuff back then, where all the kids, gang members would be up in my apartment recording their rap songs and stuff. I mean, every gang member, right? And so one kid died. So I wanted to do a program. I submitted a proposal to Bostic. He reviewed it. We sat in his office and he said, "Why don't you guys," this is what I'm saying, that's not about me. We don't want money, right? He goes, "Why don't you guys have a salary included in here for yourselves?" And my wife and I looked at each other like, we're not looking to make money. We just want to make it happen, right? We just figured the least amount of money we could ask for, right? The more chance it would have of getting approved, and we would get something and we can get it going, right? So that was our train of thought. We're not thinking let's make money, right? So he said, you guys got to get paid too, right? So we like, I guess what's best, right? So he put in some salary for us. I don't even know how much it was. And then he said, I'm going to submit it to a round table of millionaires, right? He says he goes and sits at this round table of millionaires. The millionaire round table is what he called it, right? And then these people fund things, right? They look at proposals and then they write checks. I said, okay, great. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? My wife and I were super excited. We go. We get called back. I think the proposal was for, I think like $60,000 or whatever. But then he added some stuff. It went up a little bit, I guess, to like 90 or maybe close to 100. We're like, okay. So he comes and says, hey, they liked the proposal, but they only offered us, and he says us $30,000 or something to that effect. So, I didn't accept it. That's what he said. I didn't accept it because it's not enough to do it. And I want to make sure we do it right. At first I was kind of believing that, but then as I went home and I started to think about this, then I started talking to this individual about it at work. And he says, that guy took that $30,000 and pocket that, right? Because do they really check up when they give this grant money? Do they follow up? Do they say, okay, what was done? Where was the money allocated? How do I know that he didn't accept it and didn't do nothing? And then they say, oh, well, we didn't renew the program, whatever. No one's going to really know. And here you have two young people, because we were young at that time, very young and naive, and just wanting to do something, just like we are today, right? And that's what could have happened. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So you're the GOAT. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's like Michael Jordan, man. But so the FBI is going to investigate that. But here's the thing about the FBI being here and doing this: is that going to spill over elsewhere? I mean, while you guys are here, you might as well, right? Get comfortable, rent out a hotel over there, Executive Boulevard, stay for a while, because there's a lot here. But I already hear that they're starting to look. There's so much happening and so much coming out. This lawsuit might cater, people, talking, that exposing Yonkers corruption page, which is definitely not me, the Ruros like to think it is, right? It's starting to put out a lot of interesting information. And it's true. I mean, we're starting to see it, right, folks? We're starting to see it all around us now. Now it's like, yo, look at all this luxury developments going up. We need affordable housing. There's an affordable housing crisis, and that does not mean public housing. Okay? Affordable housing does not mean public housing projects. Okay? That's not what that means. That's housing that's reserved for individuals who can even make 80 to 100, over 100,000 a year, but these rents are just too high. Right? So that's what that means. And we need that, because what's happening is we're starting to see a lot more people living in illegal apartments. I visited one today after receiving a phone call from an individual who wanted me to come by and check it out. He lives in a building with illegal apartments, and he showed me one that had no windows. Only one means of egress, meaning one way in, one way out, and no windows. The owner of this tenement building did some work in the back, staircase work, did not treat the wood, did not, put walls up, left it open. The beams are exposed. And once that becomes dry, that becomes a fire hazard because it can light very quickly. I mean, it was hazardous a place, among, aside from a lot of garbage all over the place. And this is how a lot of people here are living in the city of Yonkers. And I'm not trying to get people kicked out. I'm not trying to get people put out into the streets. But the reality is that people are being placed in dangerous situations, and they have to, because they need affordable places to live. And as these luxury developments continue to come up and continue to increase the rents of other properties around the area, we're going to see more and more of that. And so, it's going to be a problem. And so that's why I talk about it. And people are reaching out to me. People reached out to me, said, listen, I got to check this out. This apartment, it's crazy. Basement with 5 different apartments, and it's happening a lot. I mean, one of my clients has a home here in the city of Yonkers, a single family house that she rented out to one person who ended up renting it out to multiple people. He illegally subdivided it, and it caught fire because of it. And you have to see all the people that were running in and out of this house. And because of it, my client's insurance company did not want to pay. We had to go through a deposition and all this. I mean, they literally just got the word that they are going to pay now. I mean, I fought them since January, and these poor people wondering what's going to happen to their home. They were collecting rent from one guy. And then when they tried to locate the guy, he was in DR. And then had a whole bunch of other people who were renting out rooms in the attic, converted the basement into a 1-bedroom apartment. It's crazy. And they were even doing work in the house like it was their home. They were renovating it, putting new cabinets in and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. And that's a problem for people, right? So it's not okay. But people get away with it because there are corrupt officials who allow it. However, if you don't pay to play, if you speak out about it, they will attack you. They will come at you. They will give you a hard time. Like they harassing me for a banner. They gave me 21 violations for the banner. I just refused to take it down. You're harassing me for a banner, yet you got people living in dangerous situations. People have died here in Yonkers because of these illegal apartments. It's happened. Then I tell them about and I told someone in the Yonkers building department, because I have direct contact to people now, and someone up there, and I say, hey, did you know that the condemned building over on Orchard has work being done on it? There's no permit. They got scaffolding up there. They're, painting it in. You can see the doors. You got to make a formal complaint. Really? I got to make a formal complaint? I told you about it. It should be about you doing something about it, because now not, oh, you got to make a formal complaint. But I found something interesting. There's some legal stuff going on with these properties over there on Orchard. Posted that up. It's crazy. It's crazy what people get away with, what allowed to do if you play the game. The corruption is real. You harass me for a banner, a daycare, something that is needed by people and families here, especially an affordable one, yet you don't say anything to people doing work in condemned buildings. Buildings that are being condemned, people are being evicted. That building on Orchard was just condemned. The people were evicted, and now they're doing work inside. And the building department doesn't seem to care. And I'm getting this information from the public, from the residents, just like another home or property where it was condemned. And what the guy do? He just renovated the apartment, and now he's renting it out to somebody else. The building's supposed to be condemned. He still got tenants in there. This is a guy who's buying properties on Walnut and Yonkers Avenue. The same guy that approached me and said, hey, do you got a hookup at the building department? I guess he found his hookup, because according to sources, Zahi Jarris hooks him up. It's interesting, because I met the man myself, and sources are telling me about this guy that I once met. So I know he exists. I've seen him. I spoke to him. I saw him coming out of the building department 2 days ago. How you doing, Sam? Right? People get away with certain things. Others don't. It's not okay. It's not okay. Folks, really quick, I want to talk about that Macy stuff. It's real. People were asking me, Freddy, did you see what they did on the Yonkers Tribune? What's going on? And I didn't really, that's what you mean. They threw Lakeisha Collins-Bellamy under the bus. And I thought about that. I mean, why did the Yonkers Tribune put it out there that Lisa Harris and Elroy Harris, the man that was fired from Municipal Housing Authority for allegedly offering money to a 16-year-old girl for sex. It was supposedly caught on camera. They're supposed to be good friends, according to the Times. To the Tribune. Lisa and her husband Elroy, along with the city council president. Did she get them the job over at Macy? Did she get him, I should say, the job over at Macy? Because I hear he was let go from the city. He had a city job where he was let go. His wife was actually caught stealing in a park permit scheme she was doing, and she was demoted and went to work with Olson. What's her name? Forgot first name. I'm sorry. Miss Olson over there at the Office of the Aging. But then she found herself over as the deputy parks commissioner very recently. How did that happen? So that article was put in the Tribune after I spoke about it, and it's gotten some comments, and I wanted to go through those comments because, as nasty as they can be, there's truth to those comments a lot of times. Not all of it. Sometimes it's just completely bogus, but he allows certain comments that are, truthful, and other people just to write nonsense, right? I hope Cater's multifaceted lawsuit gets the attention of New York State District Attorney. When discovery commences without interference, it will uncover all the skeletons. Yeah, that's what I want to see. What happened behind closed doors implicates past and present city council and will be far-reaching and stink of the smell of corruption and collusion in Yonkers. It is now gotten so totally out of control, it's mind-altering. Needs to stop now. And Ruros, Mr. Ambulance Chaser, please stop blaming social media and bloggers for exposing the truth. Thank you. And I'm sure someone's going to probably attach that to me. That's you, Freddy, or that's somebody that I really don't know. But you know what? I'm getting a lot of messages. I got a message for somebody who just moved to Yonkers from Portland, all the way from the West Coast, who's been watching my stuff, who appreciates what I'm doing. And I posted that message. I wanted you guys to see it. Really, go on vacation without your husband? Bet he knows who his wifey is over there. Can't blame the guy. He's talking about Lisa Harris when she was, when the Tribune tried to reach out to her for comments. She was in Antigua. The deputy parks commissioner is in Antigua. Wow. Right. And then somebody says, can't blame the guy. And they said, can't blame him for having sex with a minor. I'm telling you. Culprit, Cupid, rat, mother. I don't know what that says. Really, Elroy? Do you not have sisters? Are you not a father? I'm sure you have a child older than this young girl you slept with. This is absolutely wrong on every level. I hope you feel the fullest extent of the law. They are the future generation. Let them grow up and be great people in this world. What this got to do with Lisa? And people have been saying that. Her husband accused of something. Yes, it's awful, awful thing. It's nothing to do with Lisa. I don't expect to judge or be judged by the actions of my family members. I won't do that to anyone else either. Someone responds, you're right. But he got the job because of his wife. Nepotism at its best, again, in Yonkers. And that's what I'm saying. Why it's a real problem now, right? Because I was talking about this to someone. I said, it's not just the fact that family and friends are getting hooked up with jobs, nice cushy jobs, making six-figure salaries, right? And also not doing their jobs and probably doing poor at it, right? But they're also hurting the community. The probability that an individual who is hired by the city because of a family and friends network of hurting somebody in the community is high, right? You have one fireman who was arrested for trying to solicit minors over in Atlantic City, children for sex. You had the teacher that was also fired and I believe arrested here in the city of Yonkers, the Yonkers public school teacher, right? You have this guy now, he worked for the city, works for Macy. His wife works for the city. That's family and friends hookup. According to the Tribune, they're good friends with the city council president, right? And then you had the guy who was driving drunk who killed a 16-year-old on McLean, city employee. So, it's not just about the money. It's not just about them taking up a job. They're dangerous to the community, right? It's not even 2 months that all those individuals were arrested. That's crazy to me. And that's something we need to, think about. What's creepy, I always see him home field bowling, home field deli with Donna Nolan. What a creep. I always see him home field Deli with Donna Nolan. Okay. I hear there's a lot of hanging out going on at home field bowling. Municipal housing has done a wonderful job giving clean, safe, and newly renovated apartments, not the fault of MHA. Yeah, I know who wrote that. I mean, you're kicking people out and then renovating them and then putting new people in. You're kicking people off the waiting list who were on it for years. That's not nice. Not nice. Macy is a total fraud from top to bottom, and also considering all the ethic violations with the city council president, Lakeisha, not to mention the failure of the city council to vote for increased affordable housing. Absolutely 1000% with an overwhelming Democratic majority. It's a disgrace. Exactly. You have a super majority, a super Democratic majority. And the one thing that was very much needed was more affordable housing. And you guys hooked up the developers. But you don't represent the developers. You're Democrats, remember? You're supposed to be social justice warriors, are you not? I thought it was the Republicans that would have sided with the luxury developers, not the Democrats. But not here in Yonkers, right? Remember that, true Democrats. You want to vote for a Democrat, you can't vote for any of them that are there now. I mean, some of them were Republicans not that long ago, remember? How disgusting is that? Tasha, Corazon, Shanae, Lakeisha, and the turncoat Rubo, as I just said, Republican not that long ago. Boo-hoo, all bought and paid for. How disgusting is that? Now, the waiting lists, lotteries, who wins? Meanwhile, properties are being sold wholesale to developers, big and small lots. The corruption is revolting to the people. Unfortunately, 90% of Yonkers residents are not in the know and have no clue of the widespread corruption because of media collusion. They're talking about like the Yonkers, Voice and Yonkers Times and even the Tribune, but the Tribune's kind of been going a little rogue lately. We have to wake up, Yonkers. Wake up, black, white, Hispanic, Latino, Arabic, Chinese, Korean, whatever you are. Wake up to what these corrupt politicians are up to. Vote them out. Get your own candidates on the ballot. Times are changing. Time must change in Yonkers. But they say that everybody wants it to stay the same. Everybody's happy with it, right? I'm sure. The city council is being cleaned up. Now that Mike Cater is gone, it can only get better. Cater needs to provide Liam with everything he subpoenaed. The truth will come out. And it was actually, the attorneys did send everything over to Liam and whoever else was requesting it actually a while back. They're just waiting on a decision now. Just waiting on a decision. He can join the rest of the Paradise. What is it? Like Mike Cater and Freddy, the lady stalker, Vazquez. Yeah, I'm a lady stalker. That is correct. Was it Ruvros that got his camera smacked out of his hand? No one's ever did that to me. The only person that's ever come up to me aggressively, angry at me was Ruvros. Was he even arrested? Right. And was the guy not arrested? I don't know. Why was he not arrested? Wow, when the cameras work, don't matter. Now he will replace Akeem. Pretty standard fare for press inquiry. Maybe he will get a job in the office of the aging. And I think they're referring to Lisa when she got demoted and went to the office of the aging for the $3,000 she stole in her permit scheme, parks permit scheme. So, folks, yes, 38 minutes. I'm up out of here. Yeah, so check out the interview if you didn't watch it. Some interesting stuff. The interview just disappeared on the Basement Politics pages for whatever reason. They just disappeared. Every comment, everything just disappeared. So I had to replay it. But shout out to a lot of people that they did watch it. Numbers were pretty good. And it's important because I want more and more people to just watch the podcast, especially the other ones that I do. But go check out the interview. And let me know what you think. What do you guys think? What do you hope to see for mayor of the city? Here in the city of Yonkers. Do you want to see the same? Are you happy with the individuals that are in office now? Because if you are not, then you need to speak up. Because according to the Yonkers Times, according to the Yonkers Voice, according to our elected officials, everything is all fine and dandy. No one has a problem. This is all great. Everything is peaches and cream. And so it's important that if you do have an issue, you speak out about it. Shout out to the individual that, stopped me in the street today, right? He just said, keep doing what you're doing. That individual would not even give me their name. They didn't even want to give me their name. This is how people are, they don't want no retaliation. They're concerned. It's that serious. But they wanted to tell me to keep going and that I was on the right track. The family and friends thing, he said, really look into that. That's what this individual said. And they said they got a lot, but they not, I said, listen, anonymously, hey, let me know. And also, just really quick, Dave Tubiolo and John Rubo over there at the 4th district over there. What's up with the seniors in the center at the Bernice Breckman? Maybe the Bernice Breckman family could help out. I think I got some of them on my page. They're not allowing them to do their elections and stuff like that. Like they just not letting them do their thing, man. Like, I don't know why they're interfering over there, why they're stopping them. They're going to be elections at the other centers around the city of Yonkers, but the Bernice Breckman Center specifically is being given a hard time, the elderly people, right? Because they rallied. And John Rubai here got mad. That's what people are saying. John is mad. John, are you mad? You're a big boy. Come on, man. Like, if you really are, who you say you are, John, to the people when you're on the camera, then you will make sure that they are allowed to do what they want to do. That's it. It's just that simple. I don't understand why they're giving such a hard time. Why? What's the reason? Why are you even involved with that? Why are you guys even involving? So just you renovated it, right? It looks nice. You fixed the issues that they were having there. The problems with the bathroom that caused a few of them to go to the hospital. They have the medical documentation, right? So what's the issue? Why are they having such a hard time? I mean, they're ready to rally again. And they're going to probably do that. I told them you should, really rally, because that seems to what gets the, so you should do it. So if that's what they decide, I'm going to be there, broadcasting live. Once again, the elderly have to come out and fight with our elected officials just so they can have their elections at their community center. I mean, really, this is sad. John, what are you going to do about it, man? Don't put it on nobody else. Don't say it's this guy. Steve Sasson. Steve, what are you going to do about it? These are the seniors. Do you not have elderly parents? Or, I don't know, they're still, Steve, you here with me? Steve, Lisa, can Lisa help? Lisa, can you help? Folks, that's unbelievable. They're giving the seniors a hard time. I'm Freddy Vazquez. I'll see you at 8. Steve, I know Lisa's a little busy right now. Her husband messed up the whole thing. Got the city council president all up in it. That's what happens when you get hired through the family and friends network. You're more likely to hurt and even kill a member of our community, especially a young member of our community. Unbelievable. I mean, whoa. What are we going to do about it? We got to come out and vote. Some individuals are so tired that they're going to start actually filing formal complaints with all the proper authorities from the state, Southern District. And I'm serious. People are just that frustrated. So when they say that, people want this to, they're happy, I don't see that. I mean, not the ones that talk to me. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basic Politics. The ones that are happy, start talking to me. I want to know. You guys happy? Let me know. Come on, I'll talk to you too. I like you guys too. Here, I'm out of here. See you tonight at 8. Anthony DiMaggio. Don't forget, it's going to be good as always. Part 6, former Yonkers Police Lieutenant, coming on to discuss internal affairs, aka the black shirts. By the way, a lady from Portland, she said that she was a property manager there. She recently moved to Yonkers and said that the overdevelopment is concerning. And she's seen it happen in Portland, and it made Portland extremely expensive, but it brought other problems as well. Congestion in traffic, crime, and a wide disparity of, well, I'm saying that there'll be a wide disparity of wealth gap. I mean, you see that in the city. Because you have very wealthy individuals, and you have the homeless there. It's starting to happen now. You see Getty Square, homeless, and you see folks with their Gucci, Louis Vuitton bags walking back down to the waterfront. It's gonna change. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Join me tonight.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
In another one, Mr. Rubo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Freddy wins.
That was from the last rally.
Fatality.
I want her to come back if they're gonna rally again. Give me another soundbite, please. That one is amazing. John hates it, but everybody loves it.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I went to Yonkers Public Schools. I don't think you did. We can go on all night with this, honey.
In another one, Mr. Rubo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
No! Go check out the Mike Cater interview. Tell me the truth. Whose interview was better? I shouldn't be so petty. I shouldn't be so petty. But tell me, which one was better? I'm Freddy Vazquez. See you tonight.